astronauts have disappeared.
I copy, Zark. What's up?
Remember watching 5 teenagers in bird-themed spacesuits saving Earth from alien invaders every Saturday morning? Battle of the Planets wasn't just a harmless cartoon about brave heroes. It was a heavily censored, death-filled anime that American studios butchered beyond recognition to hide its massive body count from your parents. 20. The Identity Theft Operation. Battle of the Planets was actually a Japanese anime called Gatchaman that Sandy Frank Productions bought for just $25,000 and completely bastardized. They cut over 85 episodes worth of content, renamed every character, and created an entirely fake robot named Seven Zark. 7 just to fill time and explain away deaths. The original show had a coherent story about child soldiers fighting eco-terrorists, but Americans got a confused mess about sparkly bird costumes. Frank literally stole an entire show's identity and sold it as his own creation. 19. The 48-Hour Rewrite Nightmare. Alan Young, the voice director, was given impossible deadlines to rewrite Japanese scripts into English in just 48 hours per episode. He had to create dialogue without understanding the original context, while Sandy Frank demanded family-friendly content from a show about graphic warfare. Voice actors recorded their lines without seeing the full footage, leading to dialogue that made zero sense with what was happening on screen. Young later said the production schedule was designed to cause human suffering for profit. 18. The Animation Recycling Scandal. Sandy Frank spent less than $50,000 adapting the entire first season, which meant recycling the same animation sequences over 300 times throughout the series. The transformation sequence appeared in literally every episode, sometimes twice. The Phoenix spaceship launch used identical footage in 47 different episodes. Voice actors were paid minimum union rates, despite the show generating millions in toy sales and syndication. This wasn't budget-conscious production, it was systematic exploitation, disguised as Saturday morning entertainment. 17. The Vanishing Princess Mystery. Princess, the only female member of G-Force, was redesigned 7 times before American censors approved her appearance because her original outfit was too revealing.
Say lava. You've got a point, Dirk.
But Ace, we've got to start somewhere.
Her entire backstory involved her royal family being murdered by Spectra, which was completely deleted from the US version. A romantic subplot between her and Jason was cut for being too mature for children. 12 full episodes focusing on her character development were never dubbed into English, making her basically a decorative background character who occasionally threw a yo-yo. 16. The Magical Evacuation Lie. The original Gatchaman showed graphic civilian deaths during planet destruction and city attacks, with body counts exceeding 10,000 across the series. US editors added fake dialogue claiming evacuation complete before every single disaster to pretend nobody died. Entire cities were destroyed on screen while 7 Zark 7 cheerfully announced everyone escaped safely. Children weren't stupid, though. They wrote hundreds of letters to the network asking if people really died or if the robot was lying. The answer was yes. The robot was absolutely lying to protect kids from animated murder. 15. The Body Count Cover-Up. The Japanese version showed explicit on-screen deaths in 67 different episodes, including named characters being vaporized, crushed, or blown apart. US editors had to cut every single death scene, creating continuity nightmares where villains would threaten to kill someone, the screen would flash, and suddenly they'd just be teleported to safety. This happened 43 separate times with major villains who clearly died but were said to have escaped. 7 Zark 7 existed purely to gaslight children about the massacre they almost witnessed. 14. The Painful Transformation Secret. In Gatchaman, the G-Force transformation sequence was shown as physically painful and potentially dangerous, with characters screaming during the transmutation process. American censors cut every scene showing physical strain, nosebleeds, and exhaustion from transforming. The original made it clear this technology was experimental military gear that damaged their bodies with repeated use. American kids just thought they had really cool instant outfit changes with sparkles. The price of those bird suits was supposed to be their humanity, not a fashion show. 13. The Terrorist Training Manual Controversy. Battle of the Planets included detailed sequences showing sabotage techniques, explosive device construction, and tactical assault strategies that parents complained was instructional content for domestic terrorism. 8 episodes were pulled from syndication in 1981 for showing detailed bomb-making and infrastructure sabotage methods. The FBI actually opened an investigation after a 1982 copycat incident where teenagers used techniques from the show to vandalize their school. Turns out teaching children advanced military tactics through cartoons has consequences nobody considered until it was too late. 12. The child soldier reality they hid. In the original Japanese version, all 5 team members were orphans between ages 11 to 16 who were taken by a shadowy organization and weaponized into child soldiers. The show depicted graphic training sequences with injuries, psychological conditioning, and the complete destruction of their childhoods for military purposes. American censors aged them up to college-age cadets and removed every reference to their orphan backstories. The wholesome space academy they supposedly attended was actually a child soldier training facility that violated every international law. Your heroes were traumatized kids with PTSD. 11. The creator's dying hatred. Tatsuo Yoshida, the creator of the original Gatchaman, absolutely despised the American version and refused to watch a single episode, calling it the complete destruction of my artistic vision. He died in 1977 at age 45, right before seeing the full extent of what Sandy Frank had done to his creation. His studio attempted to sue Frank in 1985 for copyright destruction and cultural vandalism, but lost due to contract loopholes that gave Frank unlimited editing rights. Yoshida's dying words were reportedly about his regret selling the rights to Americans. 10. The drug addiction allegory. They rewrote Mark's rage issues and cerebonic powers in the original version came from experimental military drugs that gave enhanced abilities at the cost of addiction and mental deterioration. 14 episodes dealt explicitly with his withdrawal symptoms, violent outbursts from chemical dependency, and struggle with state-sponsored substance abuse. American censors rewrote every single reference to make his anger about caring too much about justice, and his powers completely natural. They literally turned a storyline about child soldiers being forcibly addicted to combat drugs into a lesson about having strong feelings. 9. The nuclear apocalypse censorship Gatchaman premiered just 2 years after Japan was still processing national trauma through Godzilla films, and the original show dealt heavily with nuclear weapons and radiation fear. Battle of the Planets removed every single nuclear reference, changing atomic bombs to nonsensical gravity weapons that made zero scientific sense. The show aired during the 3 Mile Island nuclear crisis in 1979, which caused censors to intensify their removal of anything nuclear-related. American children were protected from learning about atomic weapons while watching a show literally about weapons of mass destruction. The irony was completely lost on everyone involved. 8. The voice actor. Hospitalization. Casey Kasem, who voiced Mark/G1, was hospitalized for severe exhaustion during production after being required to record 8+ hours daily to meet impossible deadlines. The recording schedule was so brutal that he developed permanent vocal cord damage by season 2 that affected his radio career for years. Kasem later publicly stated the working conditions were inhuman and that Sandy Frank treated voice actors like disposable equipment rather than human beings. He recorded over 400 hours of dialogue in less than 18 months, which medical professionals said should have been physically impossible without causing permanent harm. 7. The International Legal War, Tatsunoko Production, the Japanese studio, became so furious about unauthorized changes that they threatened to pull broadcasting rights in the middle of the 1979 season. Sandy Frank had deliberately hidden the extent of his edits during contract negotiations, showing them only sample episodes that seemed acceptable when they saw what he'd actually done, creating a fake robot character, inventing storylines, and removing the show's entire anti-war message. They immediately filed for breach of contract. The legal battle lasted 6 years and was settled for an undisclosed amount that reportedly bankrupted Frank's company. Justice came too late to save the show. 6. The Satanic Panic Frame Insertion. A 1981 episode contained hidden frames with occult symbols that parents groups discovered and claimed proved satanic influence in children's programming. The FCC launched a formal investigation and discovered that editor Richard Morgan had inserted single frames of pentacles and other symbols into transformation sequences as a joke. To see if anyone would notice, Morgan was immediately fired and permanently blacklisted from the animation industry. The episode was pulled from all syndication and never aired again. Turns out sabotaging children's cartoons with religious panic fuel was bad for everyone's career. 5. The Mysterious Studio Fire. The dubbing studio burned down in 1980 under suspicious circumstances, completely destroying master tapes for episodes 86 to 95 that were never backed up. 10 full episodes of Battle of the Planets are permanently lost because of this fire, which was ruled suspicious origin by investigators but never solved. Insurance paid out $2.3 million to Sandy Frank Productions, and the show was immediately canceled right after the payout cleared. The timing was so convenient that industry insiders openly speculated about insurance fraud, but no charges were ever filed. Those 10 episodes contained some of the darkest content that American censors struggled with, making their destruction awfully convenient. 4. The Unpaid Child Actor Tragedy. Janet Waldo, who voiced Princess, was brutally replaced without warning or explanation when the G-Force movie was produced, devastating her career. Young voice actors from the original pilot episode sued Sandy Frank for unpaid royalties and breach of contract. One of these actors, the teenage son of voice actor Ronnie Schell, died in a car accident during production in 1979. 3. The Pentagon propaganda pipeline declassified documents reveal the U.S. Department of Defense consulted on appropriate messaging for Battle of the Planets to promote military recruitment themes to children. Pentagon memos from 1979 explicitly discuss using the show for soft power and youth conditioning toward military service. The toy line was manufactured by Hasbro, which held active Department of Defense contracts for military equipment at the time. This wasn't just a cartoon, it was literal state-sponsored propaganda designed to make children think joining the military and following orders without question was heroic. Your childhood heroes were recruitment tools wearing bird costumes. 2. The Challenger Disaster Prediction. Episode 47, which aired in 1980, depicted a space shuttle exploding during launch in eerily specific detail that matched the 1986 Challenger disaster. Both explosions occurred at exactly 73 seconds after launch. Both showed the same failure point in the external fuel tank, and both resulted in identical debris patterns. After the Challenger tragedy, the episode was immediately pulled from all syndication and has never been aired on American television again. Conspiracy theorists claim it was either proof of government foreknowledge or that the animators somehow cursed the space program. Either explanation is absolutely terrifying. 1. The organized crime money laundering operation. Sandy Frank's business associate Joseph Barbera Jr. was arrested in 1983 on massive fraud charges, and the investigation revealed Battle of the Planets was being used to launder money for organized crime. Over $4.7 million in fake international licensing fees was funneled through shell companies connected to East Coast mob families. One witness who agreed to testify against the operation disappeared in 1984. and was never found, with the case going cold after his disappearance. From censored body counts and Pentagon propaganda to organized crime money laundering and mysterious deaths, Battle of the Planets wasn't just a harmless cartoon about teenagers in sparkly bird suits fighting rubber suit aliens. It was a controversy-riddled fraud operation that taught kids military tactics while serving as a mob front. This show proved that your Saturday morning innocence was literally a cover-up for copyright theft, labor exploitation, and actual federal crimes. Until next time, remember, when you're watching old cartoons, someone probably died making it, and they definitely weren't getting paid fairly. Don't forget to subscribe for more childhood-destroying facts that prove nothing was ever innocent.